Hello, good people. Your favorite reviewer slash political garbage talker person thing. We are going to finish off with review week. I don't know, maybe we'll do this regularly. We are going to finish off a review week with the best that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. And that movie is none other than Sisu, Sisu. And if you're unfamiliar with it, excuse me, imagine, hopefully you've seen Inglorious Bastards by, I believe it was Quentin Tarantino. Absolutely fantastic film. This was better than that. Sisu is a movie based in kind of near the end of World War II. It's based off of this, I guess, this almost like John Wick-esque character that pretty much destroys anything in his path or anyone that gets in his path. And what's incredible about this story, about this movie, was not only did it have such a low budget. I mean, I swear to you, this movie had less than $1 million budget or something. Like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just know it had a very, very low budget. But you could have, you could have sworn that if you've watched this film, this was a movie that had a crazy high budget and just did everything flawlessly. There's definitely a lot of nobodies, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean the actors and the actresses in this film, you will have no idea who they are. But after this film, I guarantee you will be the start of their careers. I mean, it's just incredible. So again, it tells the story of this guy. He finds a crazy amount of gold, which he obviously will probably retire on, and ultimately the Nazis find him and they bully him and they try to kill him, so on and so forth. And it just tells the story of him catching up to these Nazis, killing them or trying to kill them. Of course, everybody dies in the most graphic, horrible way possible, which is just unbelievably amazing. But it also shows him saving the day. Of course, there were horrible things done during this time period, including, as portrayed in this film, these Nazis would go through village to village. They would round up these women, and of course, you can imagine what they would do to said women. So he's saving them. He's not only trying to save himself, save his country, save his belongings, but he's also trying to save these women. And again, it's just I know I'm just gonna be a broken record with this review, but every detail down to the grittiness of these guys and these gals, like they're dirty, they're just grimy and greasy. And when they get to those moments where he's just, he's walked over a mine or he's had some fight with one of these Nazis and he's been stabbed, he's got his shirt off. I mean, he's got pants on, obviously, but like he's got his shirt off and he's literally suturing himself up. Blood is pouring out of him, and he's got this big gaping gash in the side, and he's fixing himself. And there's other ways where he's trying to clot the blood by just picking up some dirt on the ground and jamming in his wound with the dirt. So it's so, I guess no other ways, but it's so realistic. And I don't know, obviously I've never tried it in real life. I don't know if dirt clots blood, but hey, I'm gonna sure do it if I ever have to be in that situation, I guess. But again, and going to the graphicness of it, this do not, oh, for the love of God, do not have your children watch this film. It is definitely not meant for the kiddies, but no, for real, if you enjoyed Inglorious Bastards, this is just, I think this is a more realistic version of it. The Inglorious Bastards, it had Brad Pitt in there doing basically being Brad Pitt, and it was kind of a little bit of a parody almost, but this movie is more of a almost a documentary slash John Wick slash Inglorious Bastards type film. And it just, like I said, it executes it on every single level, including the props. I mean, you think about the tanks that they're driving to the landscapes. Is there CGI? Yes, but it's not overdone. It's more just, hey, here's a city that's burning in the background. Here's the airplane, things like that. But it's not really like I've talked about this numerous times, specifically a lot with Marvel and DC. This movie had superior CGI compared to some of the most recent Marvel films, which is just sad and pathetic if you think about it, coming from the Marvel side of things. But um, it worked. Like I said, they actually used a lot more realism here, from the body parts to the scenery to where they shot the film. It's everything. I would probably say a good 90% of this film is real. It's not computer animated. That includes the blood and the gore. Like, this is graphic ass shit that you're watching. People are blowing up in front of your eyes, and knives are going through heads. It's fucking amazing. I loved every second of it. Definitely 4 cups of tea out of 4 cups of tea from Spot of Nerd. And I really do encourage you to go watch it, because there is so much garbage out there right now. It's just nice to see a film that didn't give two fucks about anybody's feelings about wokeness or politics or this or that. It just was telling not only an accurate story in terms of like the genre of the time period, but it just told a damn good story about good versus evil, and the fact that Nazis were evil. They all deserve to die. Fuck them. They did horrible shit, and it only takes one guy to stand up and put them in their place. It's fucking amazing. Go and check it out right now. I promise, promise, promise you will not be disappointed whatsoever. So, and that's going to be pretty much it. Um, Review week is over. I hope you've kind of enjoyed some of these more recent films that I've been able to catch up on. Like I've said, this is the downtime in the summer where we've got a lot of shows that have either stopped, and with a strike that's going on, who knows when shit's gonna kind of come back. So, in the coming weeks, we do actually have some new stuff as well as some old stuff kind of catching back up. What We Do in the Shadows is going to be starting back up in a couple weeks, season 5, which I am incredibly excited about. You need to watch this show, it is absolutely amazing. What We Do in the Shadows, the movie was, again, truly one of the greatest films ever made. And a couple weeks from now, too, we also have Star Trek Strange New Worlds, season 2, which will be coming. We've got a new Grand Tour special coming out, Euro Track, or Euro Trash, I think it's called. And I saw actually briefly there is also going to be the final season of Jack Ryan, which is going to be pretty awesome as well. So stay tuned for that, because I mean, you cannot go wrong with John Krasinski. I can't even, basically, fucking what's his face from The Office. Wow, brain fart. I am ashamed of myself for not knowing this. Jim, oh my God, that's his name. Fucking Jim from The Office, yes, who plays Jack Ryan. So there will have their final season, and I mean, I didn't even know they had already filmed that shit, let alone are actually going to be already releasing it. So that'll be quite interesting. And then what else? I'm looking. Oh, Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion with Marvel is coming out in, I think it was like the end of June sometime, something like that. Um, we already know, quite frankly, it's going to be terrible. And the only reason I say that, not just because it's Marvel. The bottom line is, you've already given us a trailer from the Marvels. That's the movie that's coming out in November. Well, clearly, Samuel L. Jackson's character is going to survive because he's in that fucking movie. So you've already spoiled the show by telling us that he lives in the movie. So what's the point? It's just Marvel at this point is I mean, beyond already the fact that it's dead, it's trying to be even deader, if that's a way to say it, I guess. So I just don't even know anymore, really, what they're trying to go in that direction. But it's stupid and it's silly and everything in between. And lastly, of course, we haven't really talked about it much on this channel, this podcast, but we will more as it comes about. There was a show called The Bear, and it features the guy from Shameless. You'll know it. Look it up. Google The Bear, and it's on FX, but of course you can stream it through Hulu, etc. And it's a really, really interesting show. It's based off of this guy who takes over a restaurant, and it just kind of tells that story behind the scenes. It's a very dark series, but it's incredibly written, as far as dialogue and things like that. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. So I'm really glad they are going to give us a season two, because again, it really, that first season, it's one of those rare TV shows that will grab you from that first episode. I promise you, it will grab you from the first episode, and you'll just want to binge it. It has nothing really to do with anything sex or graphic or violence. It's just a story of a guy who ended up with a bad situation, and he kept going. And if you are a fan of Shameless, you'll know who the main guy is, because he actually is a pretty good dude. So um check it out. If you haven't right now, check out that first season. Last but not least, before I let you go, I did, because it shot into my brain real quickly. I was also going to do a quick review, but I'll just let you guys know right now. Scream 6, I actually watched the other night after the abysmal trying to continue to watch what's it's Dungeons and Dragons, which we did last time. Holy crap, it was actually pretty good. If you don't know the Scream series, there are 6 of these fucking films ever since 1996, and they recently just brought out to streaming services Scream 6, and it's got the Bottega gal. She's the one who plays Wednesday. She's in a whole bunch of other stuff. You would know her if you saw her. Really good, actually. I mean, this, of course, is not going to win any Oscars, but if you are a fan of the genre, the horror genre, especially the Scream series, give it a watch. I would probably encourage you to watch the fifth film. Apparently, I've never seen the fifth film. Apparently, that gives you a little bit more story as to what's going on in the sixth film. But I was able to watch this new film without really too much knowledge. It's pretty straightforward. Murder, murder, murder. Surprise, surprise, you know who it is. Murder, murder, murder. But it genuinely, I promise from the bottom of my heart, it was actually pretty good. Something, if you're just looking to watch in the background, don't really have to pay too much attention. It's just kind of what it is, but worth a watch if you're into that type of movie. So that is currently streaming right now on Paramount, and of course other streaming places, things. So with all of that said, huge, huge, huge thanks to everybody that is watching and listening. Super duper appreciate it. Even you haters, I know you love me just as much as I love you. So obviously subscribe and follow, like, comment everywhere you can, specifically Rumble. Rumble, Rumble, Rumble is where it's at. You can find us obviously on Instagram at spot_of_nerd. And yeah, keep on watching, keep on listening, check out the podcast, mainly Spotify, because I know that's where it works. And yeah, we've got Comic-Con coming up in a few weeks, which I am ecstatic. Not only because I'm going to get the fuck out of Washington, but it's fucking Comic-Con. We will be back. I've always said, hey, this last year might have been the last year, but I said, fuck it, let's just do one more year, especially without any COVID bullshit. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And yeah, we will keep going with this. Of course, next time, let's get more into the politics. A whole heap of shit is continuing to run the world. But let's be real, is it anything abnormal that we don't know already? No. So, with that said, thank you all so much, and we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all.